went down to Nicaragua. We were the first team into Nicaragua after the revolution stopped, and that was their biggest problem, was demining. So we went to a post. It was really weird. Everybody was running around in Castro uniforms. They didn't want to let us on post because we were Americans. They didn't know why we were there. We're like, you invited us here. I learned a big safety lesson, because once we got in there and got talking to them and got things going, we said, okay, we need some training minefields. We went and scouted some areas, and we said, okay, I want some lanes here, and I want a big one here, and I want some stuff and some doodads or whatever. And I worked out with their officer what our training was going to be. We were going to do individual lanes over here and teach people how to do the actual demining part. So this over here, the lane was like 1 foot wide. So basically the mines, the training mines are in a straight line. Over here, they were like 10 feet wide, so you had to maneuver up 10 feet at a time to find them. Over here was like a 1 acre field. Somewhere in this 1 acre field is a 200 by 200 foot minefield. You got to find it and demine it, that kind of thing. It was kind of the training program that we used. So, we did all these lanes. They figured it out, the poking and the digging up and disposal and all that stuff. We did the 10-foot one, went pretty good. They dug them up. Then we go to the big one where they're trying to find it, and they came across the first mine. And so, they put their little flags out, freeze everybody, blah, blah, blah. And the guy gets out there and he's digging it up. And then we're going to have to go from the first mine and figure out, okay, are we in the minefield? And we got to back out some and then mark, or so they got to figure the math out. Like, where is this? Like, we just found one mine, and now we got to figure out where the mine is. Getting ready to go through this, and the guy digs it up and pops it up, sets it on the ground, and then, he's getting ready to start. And I'm like, all right, stop. What you doing? Everybody freeze. And I call back on the radio, freeze, freeze, freeze. I'm looking down on the ground. It's a real fucking mine, and it's live. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I call back to the Bravo, and I'm like, dude, you need to demine your way to me, mark it. Now all of a sudden he's got to do everything he learned in school. So he's like, holy shit, the Chinese fire drill, gas.
Yeah, right.
So we spent...
This is not a training exercise.
So they spent all day from where they were at, poking and prodding to us, getting a lane. And it was clear, yellow tape, the whole 9 yards. And me and this kid walk out. And then I go talk to the lieutenant. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is that? He goes, it's a training minefield. That's what you said you wanted, right? And I'm like, yeah, I said I wanted a training minefield. He goes, yeah, that's a minefield that you train in. I'm like, okay, I got to get my shit together with clear communications. I want a training minefield with training mines. I don't want a live minefield to train on. And so we left it there. We said, all right, bro, where you put it in, mark it. And then when we get done with this course, that could be your first thing you bring your guys to do, is because they're going to go clear real mines anyway. So there's the first minefield you guys can practice on. So I'm lucky we didn't blow somebody up over a miscommunication.